Finsweet, agency, product, community. That's effing sweet.
Nice. We are live. Welcome everyone to another Friday, another technical live stream where we build cool things. I appreciate everyone who's already waiting here. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy week. I hope that everyone had an amazing week. You built cool things and you had or started to think about cool ideas for the upcoming challenge of building something with Wized and Memberstack. I will give you full context now, but probably everyone who's watching it, you already know it. This live stream is the second part of a two-part live stream where we are just building something with Memberstack and Wized after we release the official integration of Memberstack inside Wized. And together with that official release, we also opened an official challenge where people can build projects. You can build projects and you can potentially win money and you can win support from an amazing team to help you ship this to be a real SaaS product. We can talk about this now. But for the time being, let me say hi to everyone. Forgive me if I'm watching on my side. I've got my phone here with all the comments because I don't have two screens right now. So, hey, Michael, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Hey, Sylvan. Hey, Janice. Let's go, Jimmy. Thank you, Shane, for coming. Hey, and hey, Glenn. Nice. We've got already some folks here. If you want to say hi in the chat, please drop some message. We're going to wait a couple more minutes until we start, okay? We're start at 5 minutes past the time. So in the meantime, you can go off topic. You can ask any questions. You can tell me if you got some cool idea. We've been seeing some submissions of people already having ideas for the competition of building an application with Memberstack and Wized, and there's the bar is high. Like there's people wanting to create very cool things for real. And that's super cool. There were many more submissions that I was expecting. I thought that this would just like 10, 20 people maybe, but it's a lot of people wanting to compete here. So very, very happy. I'm so happy. Okay. Anything, guys, you can drop anything in the messages. You've got 2 minutes. In the meantime, I want to go a couple things before sharing my screen, and then we'll start. And I forgot what I wanted to search. Oh yeah, the Memberstack competition. Hold on, where's the Memberstack competition? Here, I'm gonna drop this. Gabe, I'm gonna give you this link if you can share it with the people in the chat. This is the page. I can share my screen. Can you share my screen, Gabe? This is the page where you will get full info about the championship that is going on. Okay, we've got this competition, build a SaaS you've always wanted, and win cash prizes. That's so cool. The competition is starting May 29th and it goes until June 14th. Okay, you've got 2 weeks exactly to build some cool SaaS application with Wized and Memberstack, and the prices are very cool. The first prize, it's $2,000 in cash plus launch support. So if you want to really launch this to make some good money of it, probably the good money, it's not just going to be this $2,000 in cash. It's probably going to be the SaaS product if it's a good product. So it's an investment for you too. And you get full support from our both teams, Memberstack and Wized, to help you launch this. And then second prize, $1,000 in cash plus launch support, and third prize, $500 in cash. It's very cool. Gonna say it, and I cannot compete. I would. Glenn, you're asking, are there any bugs in the Memberstack app implementation we should know about before the competition starts? I doubt it, but just in case. I don't think so. Although today I will have to show you a problem that I've had, but it's not related to Memberstack. It's related to Stripe. So one of the things that was pending to do in today's live stream, it's taking the cool app that we built in the previous live stream and implement the purchases. But we've got some issues with Stripe, connecting Stripe to Memberstack, and it's not related to Memberstack. It's related to our Stripe account at Finsweet because we manage a lot of things in there. So I don't have a connection to Stripe, so I will not be able to show everything, but I'll make it up. Don't worry. Um, so now, not really bugs, just that today I had to change one thing because of Stripe, not because of Memberstack. Janice, if you could think about multi-tenancy by Memberstack, or should I ask Memberstack team? So by multi-tenancy, you mean like being able to create different apps with a single account? Is that what you mean, Janice? Good to know. Yeah, plan. I'll wait for Janice, but in the meantime, let me just do the intro and we'll keep just building things, okay? So today, as I mentioned, today is the second part. If you are following along today, but you did not see the previous live stream, I'm going to make a summary, just a rundown of everything that we built in that previous live stream. But you can get a very detailed breakdown of how everything was built. So if you want to take some time, you don't need to do it now. You can go after this live stream and check out the previous one, which is, I believe it just called the same, but part one. And in there, we built everything that I'm going to show you now. Janice, great. So you want multi-tenancy? I'm afraid I don't know. I believe you should be able to do it because in here you can see how I've got my Memberstack account. And in here, I've got this Wized app. And this Wized app is the one that I'm using to power the Pomodoro app that I'm building. But I could create a new app, and this new app could be completely independent of on the one that I created. So I assume that yes, if your purpose is to create different apps, you can do it. If you've got other needs, then I would recommend that you reach out to Memberstack because I'm really not that proficient on it. I can see some people signing up. This account wasn't here. Somebody signed up. Last login yesterday. Interesting. Okay. Great. Okay, so let me show you everything that was built, okay? Previous live stream, and then we'll keep building things. I've got a list here. It's not an extensive list, so today, hopefully, we'll be able to do everything. I want to finalize gating more than 3 tasks. So one of the things that we are prompting people to sign in and also sign up for, pay for a plan is to be able to create tasks. And then to create more than 3 tasks, we want people to pay. Okay. So I want to set that up, although I will have to make some changes because I had a problem with Stripe. I apologize. And then we'll finalize the Pomodoro functionality, this basic timer here, okay? And then I want to talk about one thing that I think that can help a lot of people, okay? Because in this specific app, we are just building everything with Memberstack, but it's highly likely that in your ideas, you will need something else, right? Because in Memberstack, you have authentication, you have user management, you have subscriptions management, all that stuff. It's good, but you don't really have a full-fledged database to do things. So in that case, maybe you want to also bring in some other services. Maybe you want to bring in Xano, maybe you want to bring in Supabase or Firebase or your own server with your own database. Doesn't matter, right? So in that case, I also going to explain how easy it is to take an access token from Memberstack and validate it on your own server or anywhere else. So you can interact with that access token of Memberstack and still, manage the user properly and securely. Okay. And then if we've got some time, we can do Q&A. If you've got ideas for the competition, whatever you have in mind, you can just ask me and I'll try to help you as much as I can. Okay. I will not build the app for you because then you will have to split the money with me. But I will try to help you as much as I can. Great. Can we, guys, can we start? Please give me thumbs up. I always love to see people following along. Let's go for it. Okay. So things that we implemented. We've got here some sign in and sign up buttons, and that it's already implemented. So in our app, we can sign in and sign out, and all of this is powered by Memberstack. So if I go to sign in, this form in here, I believe that this one, it's managed fully by Wized. So we've got our own actions and requests here. When I submit this form, I want to perform a request of signing in, for example. And signing in is just this request in Memberstack where we take the form email and the form password and we send it to Memberstack to log in. Okay. All that it's built step by step in Wized. Okay. But if I wanted to sign up, just to show you the difference, in the previous live stream, what we did was implement the sign up using the native Memberstack attributes. And that's a cool thing of Memberstack. There are some things that just are provided out of the box by Memberstack. You just add a few attributes. I believe that here, and look at that. We've got some inspector also for Memberstack. That's super cool. We've got here identified the sign up form and the email for input and the password input. And Memberstack knows about it. So I can sign up just using this without using any actions and any requests from in Wized. Okay. All that is very cool. But let's go back to sign in. And I think that the account was test@test.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I'm going to fail in purpose to show you how we also did some other things. Because in Wized, we've got full control. So one thing that we did is have this error message, and it's custom. I implemented this the way that I wanted. When there's some error here, I am showing this specific message that it says the provided credentials are invalid. Jimmy, if you're going to use another service like Xana, what's the advantage of having Memberstack as well? Well, the good thing is that you've got everything out of the box with Memberstack. So there are many things that are very easy to implement. And also the good thing is that Memberstack handles all the subscriptions for you. So in Memberstack, it's not only about member management, it's especially around gating content and providing plans and making sure that people just pay for it in a very, very easy flow. And Memberstack has all that defined for you, and it's so easy. Of course, you could implement things in other services. Probably, for example, if you got Supabase, then you will have to implement, Stripe by yourself. You'll have to do the whole thing of connecting things from Stripe, setting up the plans, and making sure that all the accounts are updated properly when paying for a plan. So you'll have to listen for webhooks and keep the database updated, etc. So there are many things that you have to keep in mind when you're dealing with members and subscriptions. So Memberstack, it's a cool tool that has everything built in. I say that you can build everything with one tool. You can build everything with multiple tools. It depends on your goals and how complex you want the system to be. But yeah, of course, obviously, if you wanted to use Xano, that's why we support it. Of course, you could do most of the things too with Xano. But let's focus on Memberstack for now. Hey, Virad, good to see you. So sign in here. This is working fine. I could even, because I'm doing this customly, I could do other things that built in Memberstack probably would require some other steps. That is, maybe I want to change the text of this button when I submit it, when I submit the form. We could do it. We could go in Webflow. I could identify this button and I could change the text dynamically depending on if we are performing this request or not. Okay, but for now, I'm just going to submit this form with the proper password, and we are now signed in. And you can see how these tasks section, now it's showing up. Okay, if we sign out, this will fail. Remember that there is one thing that right now doesn't work here in the configurator, but it works live. Okay, it's not really a bug of Memberstack. It's just a thing of the iframe that we've got here. We'll solve it. Don't worry. Let me go back to actually, we'll have to refresh. If we are not logged in, the tasks section, it's hidden. People cannot use it. But if we log in, test@test.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then the tasks section, it's showing. So we've got some action to implement this. And then in this section, we also have the ability to add and remove tasks. Okay, so here, these tasks, I can remove them like this, and also I can add new tasks, and everything works flawlessly and it syncs with Memberstack. So if I refresh this page, I get all these tasks right away. Okay, all this is working fine. The way that we are doing this, it's by storing these tasks info in the Memberstack member JSON. So if you go to members in your Memberstack dashboard, you've got some things, you've got custom fields, you've got metadata, and there's also arbitrary JSON that you can store for your members. And in this case, I am storing the tasks like this. So I'm creating an object for each task with a custom ID and then just adding some description. Okay, so if I modify this from here and I save it, now the problem will be to remember which one was it. This one. It's in sync. Okay, this is very cool and very handy to store things for each member. It's very, very, very handy. Nice. Okay, so one other thing that we did is that if I remove this premium plan from this member, okay, and now let me refresh the page. If I try to create a new task, we've got this very friendly message saying that we need to pay. The reason is because my original idea to make people pay for this app is that if they have a free account, they can only go up to 3 tasks. And anything that goes above that, they cannot do it. So if I remove a bunch of tasks like this, and I got 3 tasks, and I try to submit this, I get this error. But if I remove another one and I try to submit this is not working, okay? So this functionality, it's built in. What's left, it's tasks with SAS. What's left now, it's to trigger the checkout flow to prompt people to just go ahead and pay for it, okay? So as I was mentioning during the beginning of this live stream, I've had a problem with Stripe. Okay, you will have to apologize me, but I'm using the Finsweet Stripe account to set this up because to set up Stripe it asks for a lot of data, and I didn't want to set up Stripe account for me. But we're having some trouble with it. Okay, so I cannot right now create custom prices. So I cannot show you guys the checkout flow, okay? But I want to show you exactly how it would work. So I'm going to do some drawings in here. So we've got the member, okay? I want to explain exactly what would happen if you have a proper Stripe account set up in Memberstack, okay? And this member can have plans, can have free plans, and can have paid plans. Paid plans, okay? The free plans, these free plans can be added very simply by just doing a request in Memberstack. So here, Memberstack, there's one request that we can do that it's called, I think it's add free plan and remove free plan. So we can add and remove free plans arbitrarily from a member. Also, you can potentially, when signing up, so imagine that we were implementing the sign up. When signing up, you can also include some plans here. So I want people to sign up, and when they sign up, automatically I want to sign this plan to them. That's something that it's possible, okay? So free plans can be added. To add paid plans, there is a method that it's just this request here. Memberstack method, and it's purchase plan. This purchase plan is a request that you can do that will just ask you for the price ID, which is essentially what I'm having trouble right now with adding because I cannot do it. But when creating a price, this would give me an ID. So I can say, hey, I want to start a checkout process for this price ID. And I can also implement some URLs so I can redirect people back when they're done. Okay. And when doing that, this checkout flow will start and will bring them to the Stripe checkout page. Okay. So this is a hosted page by Stripe that will just simply prompt them to pay, and that's it. Okay, so this is the purchase plan request. Once they successfully pay in here, they will be redirected back, and the member plan, this member plan will be updated with some paid plans. Okay, so if you remember, when we are getting the member here, get the member, we are getting some data of the plans of that member. So right now there are no plans. You can see how plan connections here is empty. But if I go to my Memberstack dashboard and I grab my account, plans and permissions, and I manually add a plan here, let's do this premium plan. When we do this and I refresh, I get the member again, get member. You can see how the plan connections contains these paid plan. Right now it's set to type free because I don't have any prices, but it could potentially be a paid plan, right? So then it's all about you just checking the member object and seeing exactly, okay, this member has this free plan, this member has this paid plan, and I can decide what to do in my app. I can restrict, whatever. So what we did in the previous live stream when implementing this form, this add task form, what we are doing is we are checking the member data and we are checking for the plan connections to have this specific premium plan. Okay. So as I mentioned, I cannot trigger this purchase plan flow right now because I don't have Stripe properly set up, but I can do a free plan. I don't know if that's something that you want to do, but I can update this. We can do it like a very simplified version. Let's come here. Let's do error because I'm using the error message here. And I could say get a plan or get a plan for free, whatever. Okay. And in here, I'm going to turn this into a link and I'm going to identify this as add plan CTA like that. Okay. So let me publish this. And in here, 1 second. Great. So in here, if I try to add anything now, oh, hold on. I need to remove this plan. Now, refresh. If I try to add a new plan, I'm getting this message here, pay or get a free plan, whatever, okay? So what I wanna do, and this is just an alternative because I cannot purchase a plan because of Stripe, okay? But when I click on this button, I'm going to trigger this request that would say add plan to member, for example, okay? And usually I would do this purchase plan, but as an alternative, I'm gonna add a free plan, okay? And this plan, it just needs to be the plan that right now it's supposed to be free. I don't know if I'll need to create a different one because it's supposed to be premium, but let me try it. I think I can get the ID from here. So let's try it. Boom, like that. And let's just try it. I'm gonna send a request here. And it looks like it worked. It did, right? Yes, it looks like it did. Nice. So if I refresh the page now I should be able to add more tasks. Nice. That's good. Okay, perfect. So I kind of simplified the flow. So usually I would pay, but right now I'm just making it for free. But I want this to happen immediately. So if I remove this plan from my member account, let's remove it again. I'm going back and forth a lot, I know. And I try to add a task. I'm getting an error, right? Oh, wait, I need to trigger this. So when I click on this, on event, click, I want to perform a request, and this request will be the add plan to member, like that, okay? So now, if I click on this button, it's going to automatically add the plan. So it should fetch this request. And it did it, right? But you will see how I can still not add new values here, right? And the reason is because the get member request, which is the one that it checks for the plan connections to be in place, that get member data, it's still the old one, right? So one thing that we should do now after performing this request is just refreshing the get member data. So I'm gonna come to my actions and inside events, here, actually, I'm going to move this into tasks, and I'm going to create a new plan that says after adding a plan, and I'm going to say, let's make everything capital, and I'm going to say event request finishes after adding a plan to a member, okay? And I'm going to move this into the events folder. After adding a plan to a member, I want to just fetch the get member again. Like that, okay? So in this way, when we add the plan, we don't have to refresh the page to be able to add the tasks. So 1 second, request finishes, get member, but I only want to do it if the add plan to member was okay. If for any reason it failed, then it doesn't make sense to refresh the page. So let me again remove the plan manually. Yep. Great. And in here, I can not do this, but if I click on this, whoops. Okay, it worked. I don't know what it did. I think I pulled the macOS dictionary, but it worked. Okay, let me do it again just for showing you. We could also do something like let's make it a bit more pretty. Let's do let's change the text and let's do while the request it's happening, I'm gonna say adding the plan. So I'm gonna say return add plan to member is requesting. So while it's requesting, I want to change this text to be adding the plan. You lucky bastard. Otherwise, I want to use the original text that was or get a plan for free, whatever. So let me grab this and put it in here like that. Great. So if we did it right, now is this working? Hold on. Or get a plan for free, adding the plan, done. It worked. Nice. And now I should also hide this, right? Yeah, I should hide this. How are we hiding this? I think that this is depending on the prompt premium. So I am also going to set a variable after clicking this button. Actually, no, after the request finishes. Yeah, okay, let me explain. After the adding the plan request finishes, I want to hide this message, right? Because we already added the plan. So after adding a plan, I want to perform the request of getting the member. And I also want to set a variable. And the variable of prompt premium should be false, like that. So essentially, once the plan is added, we remove that message because it doesn't make sense to show it again. Let me remove the plan here. Done. Great. Let's try it out. Pay you more on. Let's get a plan for free. Done. I don't know why it's scrolling up. Not sure why that it's happening. But now, yeah, this seems to be working. Hey, Himansu, good to see you. And hey, Harsh, thank you for coming. Great. Okay, I know that it's not very pretty, but it's working. Oh, hash. Thank you, Virat. You are totally right. Yes, I don't want this to be a hash. I don't want this to be a button altogether. A link, sorry. So this should actually be a button, right? Let's do this instead. So I'm gonna do pay you more. And instead of being this link, I'm gonna make a custom element. Okay, now I'm showing you prevent default. Yeah, right. Let's just make it simple. Thank you, Virat. I always appreciate you coming to the live streams. You always give me good ideas. So when listening for this click where we are sending the request, I'm going to prevent default. And that's going to prevent the scrolling up because this button here has some hash like that. I believe you can convert most elements now. Yes, I know. But I don't think I can do it. Yeah, because right now this is inline, so I would have to create these custom element here and would have to make it a button, but I'm too lazy for that. Let's just keep it as is. But now it should work better. Let's try that. Let me remove the plan. Let's try because I want to move on to a different thing. Okay, so pay you moron or get a plan. It didn't work. Fuck. Why didn't it work? Had a plan CDA, prevent default, on event click. That should not scroll me up. Come on. Let's do it again. It's scrolling me up anyways. So yeah, the best practice probably would be to, instead of using an inline link, because it's a button really, should be to use a button, not an inline link. So you probably would have to do or remove the hash. Let's try to remove the hash. Is it gonna work better if I don't have a hash? Ultimately, the best practice would be to not have a hash, to not do anything, and just use a real button. Let's remove the plan. Let's refresh this just in case. Let's try to add a new task. Get a plan. It's still refreshing. Fuck it. Yeah. Okay. Ultimate goal, guys. Don't use inline links for things like this. Use a real button. So custom element, and then you make this a button, and you make this a type button like this, and then you add a Wized attribute, blah blah blah, and then you add some tests, and then you probably want to style this. Okay, but I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna do it. Great. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is just finalize this Pomodoro functionality because otherwise this is a broken app. So I hope that to make this very fast, essentially this Pomodoro, the way that it should work is that when we click on start, this should be a countdown and it should go from 25 minutes to 0. Then if the process has started, I want to show this reset button. Okay. And if I click on the reset button, it should start again the countdown from the top. And this start button should change to stop. No, to pause. So if the countdown has started, I should be able to pause this countdown. Okay. So let's do it. First thing that I will need is, do I have the elements? Yes. We'll need a few things. First of all, I will need a variable to keep track of the countdown, right? So I'm going to call these just time or countdown. Let's call these countdown. And the initial value should be 25 minutes in seconds. Let's use seconds because we're just showing minutes and seconds. So let's do what's 25 plus multiply 60. It's 1,500. Nice. So let's return 1,500. That's the default. Okay, great. Then I will need to know if the process has started or not, like if it's paused or not. So let's do Pomodoro active. And let's do return false like this. You know what? I'm going to call this also Pomodoro. So Pomodoro countdown or Pomodoro time. Let's do Pomodoro time. Pomodoro active. And also, I will need to store the interval. You'll see it in a second, but because there will be an interval that will be just every second changing things, I will need to store that interval ID. So when I click on reset, or when I click on stop, I can just pause the interval. Okay. So I'm going to say Pomodoro interval like that. And this can be undefined. Great. Okay, great. So first of all, here, when we click on this start button, I'm going to say, first of all, let's set the text. And yes, the raycast calculator, it's very handy. Yes, it's very, very handy. So I want to set the text to this start button here. And this start button should v dot, if the Pomodoro is active, then I want to call this pause. And if it's not active, it should call, if not start, but start. It should be called start, like that. Okay. And then also, when I click on this button, should always make the opposite. So when it's active, it should pause it. When it's paused, it should be active. So let's add an additional action here for this button. On event, click. I want to set a variable, and this variable will be Pomodoro active, and essentially will be the opposite of Pomodoro active. So if it's paused, we'll start it. If it's ongoing, it will pause it. So yeah, nice. So you can see how this is working now. I can start and pause. You can see how the Pomodoro active variable is changing from false to true, and this text is accordingly working too. Nice. Okay, great. Then also, you know what? Because the start should initialize the countdown. And this countdown will require a bit of JavaScript. So instead of using a set variable, instead of doing this set variable, I'm going to use a run function. Okay, stay with me. In this run function, we're going to do two things. We're going to start set the variable. And also, we are going to start the interval. Because inside this interval, we want to grab the time and we want to keep decreasing the time until it reaches the 0. Okay, so let's do, first of all, let's set the active variables. I'm going to do v dot pomodoro active. It's equals to the opposite of v dot pomodoro active. And then here in start the interval, I'm going to do v dot pomodoro interval. I want to set interval. Okay, this is a JavaScript API that you've got in the browser. And this set interval, I want to every second keep decreasing the v dot time. So I'm going to do v dot time less equals 1. Yeah, because we're doing seconds like this. Okay, or you could do equals to v dot pomodoro time minus 1. It's the same thing. Okay. There's additional logic that we should do because when it reaches the 0, do stuff when it reaches 0. We should pause it, okay? But for now, I'm gonna skip this. And I want to run this interval every 1,000 milliseconds. So essentially every second, like that. So if we did it right, when I start this, we should see how the time is going down. Look at that. It's going down. So now our task is to show this time in here. Okay, so let's do it. We've got this Pomodoro time here, and I want to set the text of this to be, we've got two things. We need to get the minutes and we need to get the seconds, right? So the minutes, it will be the time divided by 60, but this will give me like a weird number, right? Because if I take, for example, 1,480, so essentially 20 seconds have passed, and I divide this by 60, this is giving me 24 minutes and 66 decimals, right? But I just want to have the 24 whole minutes. So to do that, I'm going to do a math.floor. And this is a math API that you also get in JavaScript, okay? And this will give me just the floor of these calculations. So it will give me the 24 number. And also I want to get the seconds. And the seconds, we will use the remainder. So instead of dividing Pomodoro time divided by 60, instead of using this operator, I'm going to use the percentage operator, because this percentage operator essentially gives me the remainder of a division. So there's the whole result, and then there's the remainder. And in that case, should be everything that goes after the 24. So if we've got a few seconds left, then those seconds are provided from here. Okay. So now I want to set the text to be minutes and 2 points seconds, like that. So if we did it right, look at that. I should get this like that. But I don't want to have single digit. Looks cool. I use the Chrome address bar for this. Yes, pad left. Exactly. Thank you, Himansu. Very observative. So in here, we need to pad start because how is this called? Or no, we can just do to fixed like this too. And essentially when we do, oh, no, this gives me decimals. My bad. I think that we need to do to string first. To locale string to fixed to exponential. I think that we need to convert it to string, and then I should get this pad end. And this pad end should give me pads the current string with the given string. Oh no, pad start, right? Possibly replace so that the resulting string reaches the given length. Yeah, it should be pad start. Thank you. Pad start. Pad start essentially will add it should add the, not pet start, pet left. Hold on, now I'm getting confused. Which pet is it? Pet end, pet start? 1 second. I don't remember this. So if I do 0, I need to add the string. So essentially here we're saying, hey, I always want this to be 2 digits. So whenever the number it's not 1 digit, it's not 2 digits, I want you to append a 0. Yeah, he meant so. Great. So pad start 2 and also 0 like that, the prefix. Let's see if we did it right. Is it going to work? Yay. Okay, nice. Great. And I can now, if I want to pause this, okay, let's remember that this, let's go to the button again. This, when we click on it, it should start or pause, right? So let's do, depending on if it's active or not, we should start the interval or we should kill the interval. So I'm going to do if v.pomodoro active, then I want you to start this interval. Else, I want to clear interval, v pomodoro interval. Okay, we can even be clear of this. I can say else if v pomodoro interval just to make sure that there is an active value in there stored. Okay, and now what's happening is that when we pause, so when we set pomodoro active to false or pause it, when we set it to false, then we are clearing this interval like that. So if we did it right, I should be able to pause. Yes. And now I should start again. Yes, I can pause it, I can start it. Nice. So let's just do the reset. I know that this could be better because now it requires some more logic for handling when it reaches 0, but I'm not going to wait 25 minutes until it reaches 0. So, and also I want to talk about other things, okay? So let's just do the reset button. And this reset button should have 2 things. First of all, it should only be visible if the Pomodoro is active. So if it's not active, I should, actually no. It should only be visible if the value is not 25 minutes, right? Because if it goes down, I should always be able to reset it. So I'm going to set visibility only if the value is less than, v.time is less than 1500, like that. Because now if I refresh the page, the button should be hidden. But if I start it, I should be able to reset. Nice. Okay, and also let's X-ray this. When we click on this, so on event, click, I want to run a function and I want to do a couple things. First of all, I want to stop the process and I want to clear the interval and I want to reset the time value like that, okay? So stopping the process, very simple, v pomodoro active equals to false, clear the interval. I'm gonna say if v dot pomodoro interval, I'm gonna do clear interval, v pomodoro interval, and reset the time value. I'm gonna do v dot time, equals to 150, like that. So if we did it right, let's reset. Yay. Let's start. Yes. Let's reset. All good. Nice. Okay, so we've got our Pomodoro app. We've got our tasks in here so we can do some work while doing these sprint with the Pomodoro thing. We can sign in, we can sign out. I would say that we have mostly shaped our application, you know? Yay, I've got a SaaS app. Upcoming feature suggestion, only allowing the timer to be stopped if the task is completed. Otherwise, users will need to pay to force stop. Ooh, that would be very cool. Yeah. Obviously, I don't have time for that, but yeah, that looks cool. Like for example, maybe when clicking on start, instead of starting the time right away, we could get some pop-up that makes me select a task, right? Or maybe I could have some checkboxes here, and I would need to select some tasks first before starting, right? And then when when this goes down to 0, I should mark if I completed the tasks or not, or whatever. And some of these features could be limited on to paying users or not. You can really take a product and make it as complex as you want. That's the beauty of building SaaS applications, that you have full control of it, right? Nice. Thank you for that. That was a very nice suggestion. But I've got 15 minutes, and there's one thing that I believe that you guys will need in some cases. So if you're planning to compete for the Memberstack competition, I recommend that you pay attention to this. And it's these validating access tokens on the server. Okay. So remember what's happening here. Let's go to Scholarly Draw. We've got our member data, right? Our member profile. And when signing in with Memberstack, this member has some free plans, has some paid plans, and also it has some authentication data, authorization data, sorry, like the access token. Okay, and this access token essentially represents me as a member or whoever is logged in. It says if my session is valid, it gives information about my profile, my ID, my email, etc. We can check it actually. So if we go to here and we try to find the access token, where is it? Can I access the access? Can I get the access token from here? Can member auth as password, ID, false. Or maybe it's only after, oh yeah, it's probably after signing in. So let me do it, 1 second. So I'm gonna sign out and this will break. So I'm gonna refresh after that. My bad. After signing in, we got an access token, okay? And this access token, let's go to sign in. And I'm going to disable the redirect. So there is in this page, after signing in, there is a redirect, right? It's navigating to the dashboard. So let me disable this, and I can disable it by removing this. So now it's in draft. Okay, so when we sign in, let's do this, test@test.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I sign in, this request contains the access token, right? And this access token, it's what provides all the information that I was telling you about. It says this access token, it tells also when it expires, etc. So I'm gonna grab this access token value, and I just realized that there's not a straightforward way of getting this. We should be able to copy these values, right? If I click on this, I want to copy this. Upcoming update, this is going to come. But for now, I'm just going to inspect and grab this. If we go to jwt.io, here we can just take an access token and look at it, right? So this is my access token here. I see Sylvan agreeing, nice. And this access token contains some information. It contains the algorithm. It contains also the type of token. So it's a JWT. And also it contains some payload. And this payload has information about me. It has the ID. It has the member type. It has the when it was generated. It has the expiration date. It also has the audience. It also has the issuer. In this case, it was Memberstack. Yeah, copying would be great. Okay, I can see people loving this feature. Nice. We're gonna ship it. Okay, so this information, it's important for me, right? And the way that access tokens work is that you can read an access token. So you can see how just by getting this access token, I can get the payload. I can decode it and get the payload. But I cannot verify the signature if I don't have the secret key that was used for signing this. Okay. Or there are other methods like public WKS, but I believe that Memberstack uses the secret keys for validating this. So Memberstack provides a way of you validating an access token on your behalf. Okay. So if you go to memberstack.com, just to show you where you can find this, .com. Does Memberstack support refresh tokens? I would say yes, but I'm not sure. Shane, you will have to ask their team because I'm not sure. Here, if you go to the memberstack.com, you've got this API, and we've got the admin API or the admin package, which are equivalent. Okay, and in here, with this, we can verify a specific member token. Okay, and this is very handy because we can just use it to check if a member is valid. So if a specific access token is valid, right? So imagine that I got my server. Imagine that I got here my own server. And in this server, I want to do custom things that are outside of Memberstack. Maybe I've got my own database, or maybe I've got some Xano database or some Supabase database, etc. And I want to be able to update records or remove records, or I want to do something like get some private info, whatever. Okay. In this server, when the member requests for this data, the server needs to know exactly if this member is actually valid, right? Because I could just come up with an access token, and I don't want to, open this to potential hijacking of my app. So in my server, I can validate these access tokens. We can do it either by using the admin package, which is meant for Node.js applications, and this is an npm package that it's called Memberstack admin. And this Memberstack admin can do things like managing members. So you've got here things that I believe that you need to init it with a private key. And this private key can be found in your Memberstack. If you go to DevTools, you've got the public key, which is what we're using in Wized, and you've got the secret key. And this secret key, it's secret, so never expose it on the browser, please. But you can use this secret key to just verify tokens on your server. Okay. Now, maybe there's people that are going to ask me, okay, but can we use with secrets for this? And the answer is yes, but it doesn't make that much sense. And I want to like be I forgot the word. I want to reiterate on this. I want to make sure that everyone understands the private things, the sensitive things are happening here on the server, right? So it's the server, the one who should be validating the access token. So the member sends out the access token, and the server, before doing these actions, first of all, it should grab the access token, validate it, which you can do either with the admin package, as we saw, or with a REST API. And this REST API, I believe it's the same thing. It's just a curl. It's just a request that expects your private key from Memberstack that you can use to validate the token. Okay, it's equivalent. But I recommend that if you can install an npm package, you do it locally. And then after validating, only if it's valid, then we can perform these private things. Okay. If you do it from Wiz, let's imagine that this is Wiz, okay? If you try to do the verifying with a secret, like I don't know how to draw this, with secrets, REST, verify. If you try to first verify this, and then this is coming as true, like it's verified, and then you're just pointing to your server, okay, and you're saying, hey, yeah, I know, I verified this from the browser. It's fine, but it's really not that secure, because anybody could potentially just bypass this, just skip it, and call your server right away directly. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You don't want to open for people to impersonate you. You want to always do things on the server where nobody has access. Members, Virad is saying, it would be cool if Memberstack allows to migrate users from Supabase. Since I have JWT secret, migrating users without asking them to reset their password would be cool. Yeah. I don't know if you can do this with the admin package. Can you create new users? Create a member, email, password. Well, maybe you can do it, Brad, because with the admin package, you can create members. So potentially, although I don't know if you can read the passwords from Supabase, it would probably be very unsecure. But assuming that it's possible, you could use the admin APIs of Supabase from Supabase to get the members and then create the members in here. Yeah, but JWT token on Memberstack if hidden, right? Is hidden. What do you mean by that? Yeah, but JWT token on Memberstack is hidden. Not sure I follow, Virad. If you can give me some clarification. What was it talking about before? On Supabase password are hashed. Oh, so they are hashed. So, but the hashing is one way. So you're not supposed to be able to unhash the passwords. No way to set the JVD secret on Memberstack. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, now I get it. So what Virad is saying, because usually it's not a JWT secret, it would be the hashing secret key. So usually when you've got a password and you want to store that in your database, before doing that, you hash it. So there is a process for security that this is all done by Memberstack, Supabase, Zano, whoever has member accounts, they all do it for you. But there's a hashing in here, and this hashing is a one-way hashing. So essentially, it takes this raw password, and then it has some cryptographical, is that the right word? Methods for hashing this password so it cannot be decoded again. So it's a one-way hashing. But this one-way hashing uses a secret. Because then when you want to compare somebody's logging in, the way that you check if somebody has the right password is that you go to the database, you grab the hashed password. So you never interact again with the raw password. You just have the hashed password. But you use this secret to password to compare. You get this password that the user submitted. So you hash that password with the secret, and then you compare the hashing of the password that was submitted with the hashing of the password that is in the database to check if they match. And if they match, that all works. So what Virat is saying that it would be cool if in Memberstack we could check, yes, we compare the hash values. So it would be cool if in Memberstack we could change this secret to be the same one that it was existing in Supabase. So when you compare hashed values, it's the same hashing. So you could potentially reuse the same passwords. Ooh. Okay. It's a bit complex. I can assume that there are a lot of security implications in this. So I'm not sure if they will be able to provide it, but it's a cool thought. It's a cool idea. Yeah. Talking about Supabase, there's one last thing that I want to show you guys, just for you to know. If you're using Supabase, if you're using Firebase, or if you're using any other service, usually they have ways of using custom tokens instead of their generated tokens. Because when you're using Supabase or when you're using Firebase, you've got built-in things, right? You've got authentication built in. Supabase has its own authentication, Firebase has its own authentication, and usually the way that it works is that when you got the database from Supabase or Firebase, there are rules that you can implement. In the case of Firebase, they are called, I think it just Firebase rules. In the case of Supabase, they're called row level security. I think that's it. That essentially just you define the rules where when a specific resource is forbidden to be accessed by somebody, right? So usually this requires using auth from the services. Like if you want to use the Firebase rules properly, you need to have logged in with Firebase. But in our case, we're logging in with Memberstack, right? And Memberstack provides an access token. But there's a way of using this access token to log in to Firebase so you can use the custom rules. And that also applies to Supabase. In the case of Firebase, you can Google auth custom token, create custom tokens, authenticate here. So there are methods and guides to authenticate your Firebase instance with a custom token. I think that, yeah, it's this method in this case, signing with custom token. And the same happens in Firebase. In Supabase. In Supabase, previously there was this method called set auth, but it looks to be deprecated. And now they're saying to set a custom access token, JWT instead, pass the custom header into the create client method provided. So what you will need to do is grab the access token from Memberstack. You will need to decode it. So you'll need to potentially verify it first. As we said, you want to verify this using the SDK from Memberstack. And then when you have all the information that it's verified, you've got the IAT, the expiration, the audience, the issuer, all this data, you can grab this to generate a custom token that it's specifically made for Supabase or for Firebase. Okay. So then you can log in. But I would need like a full live stream to show you that. Okay, I don't know if I confused you more, guys, but this is all that I wanted to talk about. Any last questions before we end the live stream? I'm gonna give you 1 minute to think about it. And I'm gonna drink some water because I'm thirsty. Maybe we can create a separate user table in Supabase with our own specified hashing algorithm. Probably yes. I don't know if I would recommend it. Like you're doing lots of loops to implement something like that. Because at that point, for the amount of logic that we will require, I would just simply go with a custom database, right? Like if you're gonna do all these loops of custom hashing things in Supabase, blah blah blah, just spin up your own custom database, and it's gonna be way simpler. But yeah, potentially it could be doable. Absolutely. Okay. No questions? Oh, yeah, quick question. Quick question about the comp. Can we change the app ID as submitted? I would say yes, Shane. Just go to the, where is it? Here. Just submit again your email, your name, and here in what you're building, just say, add something like, I submitted previously, this idea is the final one. Please discard the previous one or something like that. And don't worry because the Memberstack team it's collecting all this data and they will know this. So don't worry, you can change your idea. Okay, so last thing to say, everyone, I encourage everyone to give it a try. Not only for the money, not only for creating an app that can potentially give you money, but just make it for the learning process. just make it for the learning process. Like all this competition is just a way of prompting you guys, of encouraging people to build something with Wiz and Memberstack and learn both technologies. Like, because maybe you're not going to win the competition, maybe you're not going to have a successful SaaS product, but definitely you're going to have more experience after building this. You're going to know more about Wist. You're going to know more about Memberstack. You're going to know probably more about just web development in general. So just give it a try as a learning thing. And if you win some money, then it's even better. V1, absolutely final. I promise. Super final version. Okay. Appreciate everyone for coming. This is the end of today's live stream. Next session will be private session for Finsweet Plus users. It's probably going to be a Q&A session. You can ask me questions about your ideas, your ongoing competition. You can ask me questions about other things that are unrelated. If you're building something different that it's not in Wist, just ask me questions, whatever, okay? Technical live stream, you've got me for a full hour full available for you to answer anything. Okay, so see you next Friday on the Finsweet Plus session. I appreciate everyone for coming here. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Thank you.